Hello, everybody. Welcome to Beyond Ravens Quick Draw Thursdays with Tarot by Janine. How's everybody doing? I'm Tarot by Janine, and you can come find me and or join my community, tarotbyjanine.com. That's my website. For the price of a latte, you can get 2 news reports a week and also a zodiac spread. But I feel like the best part of that bargain is the community section because all these wonderful light workers that are in my community, they actually share a lot of their own personal experiences in the truther community and also a lot of their collected intelligence over what's going on. Lots of things are shared in the community. A lot of my questions actually come from there. My second question today came from my community section. So yeah, I'm really thankful for the community. Also, you are on Jean-Claude at Beyond Mystic Rumble channel. You want to make sure you are subscribed. And some of you are watching also from YouTube. I believe we're triple casting here on the Jean-Claude Beyond Mystic #3 YouTube channel. So welcome everybody from YouTube over there. And yes, this is a real Tarot by Janine. Like I know there's a lot of fake channels out there, but I've been with Beyond Mystic and on my own website for a really long time now. So yeah, you're seeing the real Janine in real time. Right on, everybody. So I got a really cool thing I want to look at. So you guys know I got a really good buddy named Mark Atwood. So he lives in Ireland, but he is a UKer. And I was on the Truth Tour with him, got to know him real good. He's an awesome fella. I've also been over to a couple of his things that he organized, Truther sort of days that he organized over in Ireland. And I was so lucky to be invited to those. And Mark Atwood puts out a lot of good, really good content. If you want, you can watch him on X. He does these shorts where he's drinking a coffee and he's, morning coffee or morning campers. He always starts it with morning campers. And I share them all the time on my socials because they're always really good. You know, he's good. And he also has his own channels on YouTube. I think 2 or 3 of them. Yeah, Adventures in a Cosmic Suit is one of them. I'm often on his shows. Now, I just wanted to bring to your attention this one he brought up, okay? And it has to do with Trump at Davos, okay? So we won't show that one just yet. First, I want to tell you, I like a little lead up here. So Trump is famous for comms in his communication, and people that don't understand that almost everything that comes out his mouth is a signal or a comm. Okay, this guy, like people that understand Q and followed the Q boards and understand sort of the language of Trump and know how to decode it, can really understand what he's really saying, in particular to this community, but also maybe to even the normies out there. Okay, preparing them for what's to come. And my cards always like really believe in Q. Like when I look at Q with the cards, they always say, yep, Q's right on. And it's what we think it is. It's not a big psyop against humanity. It's actually for humanity to help educate us. That's in a small way what the cards say about it. I can expound on it, but we don't have time right now. Also, Trump put out this tweet. Now, do you remember? I don't think it was a tweet at first. I think it was on Truth Social. Yeah, let's see this one, this retruth, I guess. And it is about, he literally says the word public or public military tribunals. And I have been saying for years that those have been happening. Okay. And the lead up here is that he mentions again at Davos. So let's have a little listen to what, let's have a little listen to what Mark Atwood discovered. So this was such a good find. And good work, Mark, on this one. Let's have a little listen to what he found there, and it sort of leads into what that tweet that he put out. Let's have a little listen to this.
Trying to unpack the whole thing in this video. What I want to do is share with you this little bit. Just watch this bit.
Wiped out the Iran nuclear threat like nobody can believe. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. That, Venezuela, taking down Soleimani, wiping out al-Baghdadi when he tried to reinstitute ISIS. We did a lot. I did a lot of big things, all perfectly executed. Everyone was perfectly executed. Somebody told me that a military.
Did you hear that? He said, every one, these are his words, every one was perfectly executed. Now, yes, I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I've also been studying this for a long time. And on top of that, I have an insight that is not always popular. And that goes back to about 2016 when I was living in Morocco. I was listening to Donald Trump talking on a podcast of some description, and I was driving along, and in my head, Donald Trump, you know, billionaire, TV star, blah blah blah. I thought it was just another one of them. But then I literally started understanding the code of what he was saying, and he's never stopped talking in code. He literally just said they were perfectly executed. What's he talking about? On the surface, it looks like he's talking about military operations, but I think he's telling us, well, those of us that can hear, and there's going to be people in the comments go, yo, you're just fucking nuts. But he's telling us that they've all been executed. He's in Davos telling us they've all been executed.
We'll stop it there. Yeah.
I'm not laughing.
We'll stop it there. Like, that is exactly what I'd get from that too. What Mark just said, and it was such a good catch. He caught that. And you need to be on the ball when you're listening to Trump, because that's he'll sneak it in like that. That was a perfect example of a big calm, and it couldn't have been anything else. As the saying goes, he's been right about everything. Trump's been right about everything. And of course, some people are saying in the comments, they're just using his image. Yeah, this is the brand of Trump. Okay, there's several people playing Trump. Okay, but in the background of that, I believe there is the original Trump's part of the White Hat Alliance. But he's safe. They've kept him safe for a really long time. Wouldn't be safe to send him to Davos, for instance. If in fact, and don't forget, if in fact they're even at Davos, could this all be CGI that they're doing? Could this be green screens that they're at Davos? We don't know. I don't know. That's for sure. Because in the years leading up to this, for a couple of years, I've got with the cards that actually they weren't really in Davos when they said they were. Okay, so now they've even got people stopping all of these people coming out of the speeches and whatever, Trudeau and etc. And these are people that probably were executed already and or are in Gitmo waiting to be what I call processed. I'm telling you. Okay, so it's really interesting. Maybe everybody at Davos, he's trying to say, are those that have been executed. Maybe that's what he meant. So what I'm going to ask the cards is, are Mark and I getting that right? Was he calming that a lot of the people at Davos have already been executed? Right? Let's have a look. The people showing up, Macron, like the real Macron, wasn't he rounded up probably a long time ago? All right, like these are all central casting. Remember how many times does Trump say central casting? Let's have a look. Did Mark and I, are we getting that right? And again, thanks to Mark for coming up with that. That was a brilliant find. Well, we got the Queen of Swords there. We've got the Emperor, the Sun. We've got the 9. She's a very truthful card. It's like a hard truth. I think he was telling a hard truth. Well, it is a hard truth to say, yeah, they've all been executed. We executed them perfectly. I mean, a lot of people are going to find that hard to swallow. They're going to find it really hard to understand why these people need to be executed. That's why I believe they have to do it secretly and then red pill enough people or get people to understand who are your real enemies, what have they really been doing? Because a lot of people, you kind of normie community there, don't understand just how demonic these people are and what they've been up to and how they've devastated humanity for how many years, enslaved us, et cetera, eating our children, like just disgusting, making adrenochrome with humanity and in particular infants and babies, like unbelievable atrocities and crimes against humanity that could only be dealt with, you know, in the way that he's describing there. I feel like it was soft exposure, and I think this is a yes here. We've got the sun right in the middle, and that's a soft yes. So I think he meant a lot of things. So not like I feel like it was a calm, so a soft intro to it. And he also was talking about how so it's multi-leveled. And, you know, he does do that. Things he says have about 5 different meanings, and that's the 5D chess. Okay, that multi-level. I don't know who writes what he's going to say there, what those you know, central casting people say that are playing Trump. This one's my favorite, the one that showed up in Davos. That's my favorite Trump, the one that looks the most, kind of the most like what I think he might look like, right? Nowadays, that guy. Let us know in the comments what your favorite Trump is. I personally can't stand the funny looking one that plays golf and wears the hat way down low. That one doesn't look anything like the real. I hope that's not real Trump, because that to me doesn't look anything like him. Let us know down in the comments what's your favorite. This is my very favorite playing Trump here. But this says, to me, this says yes, but there's more to it. Okay, so the more to it would be, of course, that he's also talking about literally what he was saying, which is they did all of those military operations and they were perfectly executed, but also these people were perfectly executed. He wouldn't have said it that way if he didn't mean it. So he means all of the things. He means all of the things. Oh my goodness. Oh, wow. Okay, so we got to pay attention when it comes to these. People think outlandish statements that he makes, but in fact, he's literally speaking in code. I can't wait till regular folks figure this out. I really hope someday they get to understand what we know. By the way, there's a fantastic offer here from Florilyn. I hope I said that with that beautiful French accent that it deserves. So florilinfarms.ca has this beautiful candle offer here. And it looks like there's a 10% with the promo BM10. So yeah, gorgeous candles with essential oils, etc. Also, there is Shella and we are offering a bundle. So we've bundled together a couple of our workshops here. This is the Master Workshop Bundle Level 1 and 2 for numerology. It's actually a tarot numerology workshop. So it's got a lot of good information, and that has a 50%. And so that's Tarot Numerology 50. So that's a good one too. Now, the second thing I want to look at. So, you know how weather in the last many years, probably been about 10 years that I've noticed that weather reports every year, they get more and more severe with the way they're talking about the weather. Okay, so does weather in fact actually get worse and worse? To me, I lived in Calgary a lot of my life, like most of my life, Calgary, Alberta. I now live in the Haida Gwaii, but I lived in Calgary, Alberta for many, many years. And every year, like the weather reporting would get more dramatic and drastic. Okay. And even in the last, say, 5 years, they've been almost off the charts with the drama. Okay. Like hottest ever weather, like blah, 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 blah. And then you actually look at the numbers, and it's no hotter or drier than any summer. Every summer in Calgary is super hot and dry. Okay. And then it was an odd, this last summer was odd because they had more rain than usual. Okay. But every once in a while, throw in an unusual year. But every winter, it's like there's horrific winter storms in a place like Calgary. Also other places, Ottawa, Ontario, like now that I got lots of friends in the East, they tell me about, but it's not unusual for them to have 40 below for a week or two in the winter. Okay. But then they make a big deal out of it. And I feel like it might be the deep state. And here we're going to play an example of a weather report that's been put out there. And they've been actually putting this one out for months. Okay. This report is for a big part of the US. Let's listen to this guy, and then I'm going to ask my question.
I've been waiting to talk about the storm that's coming this weekend because I didn't want to freak people out. And a lot of these forecasts never pan out, but this one is panning out, it looks like. Yeah, everyone's in agreement now that the crazy forecast is actually happening. This is going to be one of those storms you probably remember for much of your life. Basically, more than the eastern half of the United States is going to be below freezing. Most of that below zero. They're calling for, foot and a half of snow all through here, all the way to the mid-Atlantic, and 3 inches of ice in this pink band right here. 3 inches of ice is unbelievably catastrophic. That is worse than what Texas experienced in 2021. There's going to be loss of life. Anywhere there's 3 inches of ice, there's no power. There's not going to be a power line that's not on the ground when there's 3 inches of ice. And emergency services aren't going to be able to reach you because there's 3 inches of ice on the road. That's what's going to happen if this forecast is correct. The grid's going to fail. Refineries are going to shut down. Water systems are going to shut down. Could knock out a couple of LNG terminals if it goes far enough south on the Gulf Coast. This is going to be a disaster if this forecast is even close to accurate. I mean,
okay, let's stop it there because it's super fear porny. Okay. Now we do know that Texas experienced things very similar to what he's talking about. And it was a lot of days they didn't have power. And it was really horrific. It was terrifying, I'm sure, for those people, because they're not used to this. And this seems like it is developing. Okay. But here's what the question was that somebody wrote to me, and I thought it was really valid. Could these kind of reports, and the fact that they've been saying this, by the way, for months, and even I think it was, what's that show? The Simpsons showed a terrible storm hitting places like Texas in the US. Okay, they showed it on one of their shows that in the cartoon place, wherever that is in that cartoon, they showed a terrible storm just like this. Okay, so they were predicting this. They've been predicting this for a really long time. And now we're right up to the weekend it's supposed to happen. And here's what the person asked. Could, in the past, the deep state have created reports like this to get everybody looking at it, everybody talking about it, and then with our creative, incredibly manifestation powers, we are manifestors. Okay. Could we all manifest it because we're not thinking and we're assuming that's going to happen? We're all talking about it. We're getting prepared for it. Could we actually help manifest how bad these storms are? That's actually my question. Okay. I've already looked at, will that storm come, by the way? And I'll just tell you what I got on that. I looked at that on my own world news this week and on my tarotbyjanine.com. And what I got was, it won't be as bad as that guy said, and it won't last 30 days like he was predicting potential. It might last 10 days, maybe a week. Okay, it will be bad, though. It won't be great. So it looks like it's already manifested to be that bad. Okay, but my question is, do we help manifest it with these reports? And especially when they come weeks and weeks, because we've been hearing about this storm. Like, I was hearing about it in October, right? Yeah. So they were talking about January storm in October. So to me, it's like, okay, they're partly creating it, but also getting us to help them create it. I thought that question was brilliant, by the way. Whoever sent that to me, thank you so much. Okay, let's have a look. Wow. I feel like we can create it, but we can also step away from it. So if everybody starts working on taken that down a few notches, taken the fear value of that down. But that would mean normies would have to be there too with us. We're going to need their support with this too. So I feel like we can hike them up, but we can also take them down. We could go either way with it. So it does look like we have a lot of influence energetically. Okay. And something's coming, and it could get a lot worse if we all focused on it. It could get a lot better if we take our focus off and start assuming the best. Okay, so that's why I'm glad I put that out there to my community anyway, that actually it doesn't look like it'll be nearly as bad as that guy said. So let's all start talking about it's not going to be nearly as bad. Yeah, we're going to have a winter storm. Lately, like it looks like the last few years, it has, the storms have been getting worse. Even for parts of the US that never used to have storms like this, they are getting these. Okay. And by the way, Cliff High's been talking about a mini ice age. Okay. The very opposite, by the way, of global warming they were talking about for years. Exactly the opposite. They like to switch things, that dark cult bunch, just to show you just how wrong they are. I think we are headed for maybe a little colder times, okay, which could explain why these weather patterns are coming. Okay, so we can somewhat change it either way. So if our consciousness is focused on, we're going to be good with this is going to be better than we expect, it won't be as bad as that guy said, let's take it down instead of escalating it with fear. Okay, I think we can have some effect. By the look of it, we can, but it doesn't look like we can totally stop it. And it doesn't look like we'll totally bring one on when there wasn't one coming. It feels like we can just make it worse or better. Okay, so yeah, that's interesting. That's sort of a middle sort of answer to me, but that's okay. That's okay. Because that means we're not totally creating it with all that fear porn, but we're not having an effect at all either. We are having some effect, but it's not as big as we thought it was either. Okay, so I hope that made sense. Thank you so much, guys. Take care of each other. If you are in that belt that he was showing, I'm sending you ravens for the best possible outcome there and being able to really navigate whatever does come your way there. And I'm imagining it being way better than what that guy was describing. Thank you so much, everybody. Bye-bye. Again, tarotbyjanine.com if you like my work. And you are on Beyond Mystic. So Jean-Claude at Beyond Mystic Rumble channel. You're watching there. So make sure you are subscribed and like and share if you did like the video. That really helps the algorithms. And again, I'm going to nod to the YouTube. So hi to you people on Jean-Claude Beyond Mystic 003 YouTube channel. Bye-bye.